In the last lesson you learned the notes of a musical scale and how they are laid out on a piano keyboard. In this video you will learn how to find the same notes on a guitar fretboard. The first thing you have to do is learn and memorise the notes of the 6 open strings of a guitar. They are E, A, D, G, B, and E. There are 2 simple acronyms that you can use to remember this. Eating apples definitely generates better energy. Or explaining application definitely generates better execution. Just use whichever one of these you will remember the best. There is no reason for not remembering this. Just think of it every time you use your electronic guitar tuner. We now need to use an empty schematic diagram of a guitar neck to build a map of the notes on the guitar fretboard. I would like you to print this out and then fill in the blanks with the notes as you learn them. The diagram is looking down on the guitar neck as if you had it on your lap. The lowest string is at the bottom, the 6th string, and the highest string is at the top, the 1st string. I always got this wrong. For me, the 1st string should be the low E and the 6th string should be the high E because that's the order that they appear to me as I look down on the guitar from above. But that is the complete opposite of how they are labelled on sets of guitar strings and in guitar textbooks. So if you find it confusing, you are not the only one. I've been getting it wrong for over 35 years. But hopefully, never again. So let's start using what we learned in the last video to build a map of the notes on the guitar. Remember last time we learned there are 12 halftones in a scale octave. That's why the guitar fretboard has 12 frets. It is the same 12 notes that appear on a piano keyboard. The only difference is that they are not colour-coded, but we usually have guides on the neck. Usually on the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9th and the 12th frets. The notes from the 12th to the 24th fret are just replicates of what we have from the open string to the 12th fret. It repeats just like the keys repeat on a piano. I now want you to play each note, moving up the guitar fretboard and labelling them on your diagram as you go. We need to use the Be Blunt acronym from the last lesson to help us remember the notes that have sharps, or in this case the ones which don't. So starting with the open 6th string, which is fret 0, play the note. We know this is an E from what we learned earlier. So what is the next note on the 1st fret? Remember, B blunt, E is blunt, it has no sharp. So the next note is F. Play the note and fill in the blank space on your guitar fretboard chart. The next note is on the 2nd fret. If F isn't blunt, then it is by definition sharp. So this note has to be F sharp. The 3rd fret is G. G isn't blunt. So the next note on the 4th fret is G sharp. After that, on the 5th fret, we have A. A also isn't blunt, which means the 6th fret is A sharp. The 7th fret is B. Which is blunt, which means that the 8th fret must be C. Every time you find a C, I would like you to both label it and also highlight it in red. We will use this in a later lesson. C isn't blunt, so the next note on the 9th fret is C sharp. The 10th fret is D. Which isn't blunt either, so the 11th fret must be D sharp. And the 12th fret is E, an octave higher than the E we started on at the very beginning. This E is 12 semitones higher and 12 frets higher than the E we originally started with. So your map of the notes on the 6th string should now look like this. Let's continue on the next string, the 5th string, which is eating apples, A. The 1st fret is A sharp. The 2nd fret is B. B is blunt, so the 3rd fret has to be C. Remember to highlight it in red on your chart. So this is what you should have now. This is also where guitar differs from piano. On a piano, the same note only appears once. On a guitar, the same note can appear in 2 to 3 different places on the fretboard. This C is exactly the same frequency as the C we've already labelled on the 8th fret. The same is true of the A on the 5th fret of the 6th string and the open A on the 5th string. They have the same frequency but sound slightly different due to the different string thicknesses. That is one of the unique characteristics of stringed instruments. You can choose to play the note in different places, and this will give you a different sound. It is a critical tool when we start to write guitar melodies or solos, but that is for a later lesson. I would like you to pause the video when instructed and complete the rest of the map on your own. Play each note, label it, using B blunt to help you remember which ones have no sharps, and remember to highlight all of the C notes in red. Pause the video and start it again when you think you're done. Pause it now. If your map looks like this, then you have learned all of the notes on the guitar fretboard. Like you did with piano, pick some random notes and see if you can name them. The more you do this, the better you'll get. Your ultimate goal is to be able to find any note on the guitar fretboard or to label any note that you randomly play. The next lesson will teach you the notes in the C major scale, and from that to develop an even better way of remembering the notes on the fretboard. Thanks for watching.